has been reacting to this, and I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans are in complete meltdown. Spurs Zone says something has to change at Tottenham. Medical facilities, no injury for 2.5 years for Kudus, and then moves to Spurs and has been injured for half the season.
And how many times have we seen this? Solanke didn't get injured at all. He played all 38 games the season before.
Yeah.
Come to Tottenham. Within the first game, he's injured. And then in January, he got a 3-month injury. And this season, he was out for 6 months.
He's barely played this season.
People forget he only came back in, February? Like, that was ridiculous. We didn't even know what was going on there.
Yeah.
That was another one we were like, oh, he's going to be back, he's going to be back.
People were suggesting he's had a drugs ban and all that.
Bro, all crazy nonsense. We were losing our minds over it, this fan base, all the conspiracy theories about Solanke. Like, how many players, like, we've signed quite a few players now with quite good injury records. Even Gallagher. Didn't he come with not a single injury and missed the game for an injury as soon as he came? Like, the whole thing is
Muani
ridiculous.
as well.
Muani never had an injury, and he got, I mean, to be fair, he broke his jaw, but then he picked up another injury, didn't he?
Yep.
There's something clearly very wrong with how we operate. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the personnel per se or just the way we function, but there's something clearly wrong. I mean, is it just complete bad luck? Is it just a curse? Is there something in the air at Tottenham
There's
that
got to be more
control?
to it than just bad luck. There just has to be more to it. Because this isn't... We saw a massive injury crisis last season, a massive injury crisis this season. It's just like non-stop. There's got to be more to it than just bad luck. I'm sorry, there's got to be. Alice Talks Footy says, the fact Tottenham sold Johnson, knew Kudus had a long-term injury, but decided to sign another workhorse 8 in Gallagher instead of a right winger, then followed by Lange claiming it's better to wait till the summer to do business, is exactly why Tottenham are in the mess that they're in. I won't laugh if Tottenham get relegated because it just shows what incompetent owners can do to a big club. And that's absolutely spot on, isn't it? Absolutely
getting
spot
sympathy
on.
from United fans now.
Yeah, she's pretty much a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, she's fully COYS, we all know it. But yeah, I think she's absolutely spot on. I think we all said at the time, like, yeah, fine, sign Gallagher. Like, I'm not exactly against it, but like, he is nowhere near a priority right now. Like, he should be right down the list. He's the only player in the squad where we have depth in that position. So getting Gallagher in isn't going to change much for Tottenham. As much as fine, he's a good player and you can sign him, but he ain't going to change much. And what's it proven? It's proven exactly that. And at the end of the day, fine, you got money for Johnson, but the January window, if you wanted to sign a replacement, it was always going to probably come at a cost of overpaying for someone, because that's what happens in January.
What's good money if you've got no options on the pitch?
Yeah.
What good is it? It's doing nothing for us having this 35 billion in the bank.
Exactly, because if you sell a player in January and you want to replace him, you're going to have to overspend. Like, Kudus probably was going to be more expensive in January than he was if we went for him last summer. And I think we bulked to what? I think they wanted 50 million or something. We said no. Or we wanted... No, sorry, we only wanted to spend 45 and they wanted like 65. And we were like, no, we're not going there. Yeah, and if we go to then January, when we're desperate, because we just sold Johnson and whatever, they're probably going to put the price up. So... That's, it's all well and good, like selling because there's money to be get for Johnson, but you have to also reconcile the fact if you're going to replace him, you're going to have to overspend.
Look, like I said, there were plenty of options of that price figure on the market. How much did Ryan go to Bournemouth for? 35 million? Mm-hmm. Get him in. How much did Oscar Bob go for? 35 million? Go get him in.
Also, we could, if we were that desperate, you could have got Wilson for cheap, probably. Like 20 million.
Yeah.
When he's 6 months out with his deal. Matoma had 18 months. Could you just blown them out of the water with a really good bid?
So I'm not having this. There are no options in January. I'm not having it whatsoever because other teams were able to get wingers in. So why can't we? We're supposed to be, have all this money to splash out, and we were supposed to take our wage bill over to the next level and all this stuff. You're saying, oh, it's better to wait for the summer, but put our season in jeopardy. Makes no sense. Mr. Black says, this season is the opposite of a gift that keeps on giving.
Or Billy T.
Oh, I'll go to Billy T after one, but yeah, this
No, Mr. Black, it's not. It's definitely not the gift that keeps on giving. It's like the shit that keeps on shitting. That's what it's like.
It's the arse that keeps on shitting. It's the gift that keeps on giving to everyone else.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely.
Billy T says, Kudus got injured the first game in January. The game after selling our only other right winger. Anyone involved in the January transfer window should never be allowed to work in football again. Will definitely not be allowed to work at Tottenham again, that's for sure, because this January transfer window, I think, was worse than when we never signed anyone in the whole of a summer window. I'm not even joking.
Absolutely. The negligence of this, at least at that point, whatever you want to say, at least we knew we had a good team, and we actually did up getting to a Champions League final and finishing fourth. So as much as those, I think we're still reaping from the cost of not signing even now probably players in that window. At least it wasn't as bad a decision as basically putting the club's future on the line here, which we have done by not signing anyone or anyone significant in this current January window. So the difference is stark, in my opinion. That was the worst window in history, considering the situation.
Yeah, like, it's just mad. You can't even fathom it. Like, any normal club, go get a right winger. Whether it be on loan, whether you have to overspend, it doesn't matter. Your Premier League status is at jeopardy. And they're just like, you know what? It's better to wait till the summer. Like, how? Like, who even thinks like that?
He's like patting himself on the back, how proud he is. Yeah, we didn't panic. We did such a good job not signing anyone and waiting till the summer because no one was available. What a good job we did. Oh, idiot.
It's madness. It's like at the best of times you're like, all right, it's best not to panic. All right, fine, don't panic. But there are times where you need to panic. And they showed the time that they need to panic when they brought in De Zerbi. You know, they could panic in that situation. But January was a time to majorly panic.
You know, the last time we were in a similar situation to this, back in 2008, under Harry Redknapp, obviously we started that season 2.8 games.
Yeah.
He came in, turned it around. But then, if people forget, come January, the format actually turned badly again, and we were getting closer to that relegation zone again. I think we might have been in it at the time because we were in the relegation zone for a while that season before we had a real upturn in form.
But it was very early days though in the season.
No, but in January we had something like 3 points from 8 games as well. We had really bad form that January. My point being is that January we signed Defoe for 15 million. We signed Robbie Keane back from Liverpool. We signed Chimbonda. We signed Carlo Cudicini, right? And obviously Wilson Palacios from Wigan. I think apart from Defoe, none of those players were there beyond 18 months. They all ended up leaving quite quickly. My point is we did panic in that window, but we got enough players in for the short term just to get us out of the shit and dragged us to 8th for that season, and we ended up kicking on from there. I think the next season, I don't think any of those players, apart from Defoe, made a real impact in our run to go to the top 4. I think Chimbonda was gone after 6 months. Cudicini was our number 2. Robbie Keane was gone after about a year. Like, all those players were not long-term signings, but they weren't there because it was a great strategy to sign them, to build on. We signed them because we were in deep trouble and we just needed experience. We needed players to come in and
to be fair, I don't think those players had much of an impact, did they, that season?
They did. I mean, Palacios did.
Robbie Keane had that one game against Burnley, wasn't it?
No, but I'm saying that in the 6 months before, to get us out of the trouble, he was okay. He wasn't great, but he was all right. He was much better than he was the next season. Defoe was good. Chimbonda was pretty average. Cudicini was okay for a bit, but they just helped us. They got experience. They just created a better environment within the squad as well.
Probably underestimated what those kind of guys did behind the scenes.
Yeah. Palacios obviously made him an impact, but then again, he was gone after like 18 months, Palacios, despite being good for a bit.
Palacios was the one, I think, that made the major difference on the pitch.
Yeah. But again, he was good for about a couple of years, and then we ended up getting rid of him. My point being is they weren't part of a long-term strategy. That was part of us panicking because of the situation we were in, and it got us out of it. And we needed to do something like that.
How do they not know the phrase, desperate times call for desperate measures? Mm-hmm. And in January, we're in desperate times.
Yeah.
Desperate times. And they don't get anyone in the positions that we need. It's just madness. Next up, Alex Butts 96 says, good job we sold Johnson and didn't stress purchase though.
Yeah, great job. Well done, Tottenham. Well done. Round of applause for Johan Lang for not panicking. Fantastic job, man. Fantastic.
Oh, just get out of the club, man. Please. Skywalk FC says, hilarious. The owners were banking on all the injured players coming back to save our season, and none of them will be fit until next season.
We haven't heard about Bentancur, have we? He was supposed to be back this weekend, or around this time, and we haven't heard a thing about him.
At the end of January, when Johan Lang did that thing, he was like, yeah, we've got this unbelievable amount of injuries, but the good thing about injured players, they all return.
And none of them have. In fact, all we have is got more injuries. That's all what's happened.
Emerson says we either got the worst luck
Of all time.
Oh, of all time. I'm too old for this shit, man. Of all time, or the worst medical team. I think we got a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to know what the reality is, but we constantly have problems with the medical team. We constantly have these. There's a pattern of misdiagnosing or misdiagnosing the length of time that injuries are going to take, always worse than first feared. And for the last 2 years, there's definitely been a massive pattern of major injuries and large amount of injuries. So, I mean, you have to, at some point, there's got to be something we're doing wrong. You surely have to, you can't just put this all down to luck.
Yeah, absolutely. ONTHFC says, honestly, if the medical team were all given life sentences, I would be the happiest man.
Just life sentences away from the club.
I'm not sure that's what he meant.
I know it's not what he meant, but... God.
Yeah, and it always harks back up to this meme as well. Jose Mourinho in the Amazon documentary. We're fucked. That's what De Zerbi's like on the training pitch right now.
I just remember Mourinho when he goes up to, Sacramento, and he's just like, out for the season, mate.
Was this with Kane?
I think it was Kane. Like, no, I think actually this was it Kane or Son?
I think it was Kane.
Maybe it was Kane. Because Son as well, we got the double whammy, Son with his arm. And he was like, out for the season. God.
Scott says, welcome to the championship. He was our only game-changing player.
Yeah, I think he was the player that we thought realistically could come back and realistically could really give us a bit of a boost in the short term. I think when it comes to Maddison, Decky, and even Bentancur, first of all, Bentancur is like, okay, you can come back, but how much of a difference are you actually going to make? And when it comes to Decky and Maddison, it's like, yeah, they could come back, but how good are they going to be? How much do you rely on them? Kudus is the one where, like, we know he can make the difference if he comes back, and we know he could come back in, I know it's a bad injury, but he could come back and make an instant impact straight away. And now he's not going to be able to.
The thing is, right, we all look at what we've seen so far this season and how the players have been under a Frank system, under a Igor Tudor system, and it's easy to say, we're just going to be saying, but it's up to De Zerbi to get these players' confidence levels up, to get them performing on the pitch, and even without Kudus, it doesn't mean we can't win games.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just like Kudus would have been.
It's obviously it'd be a major boost for us, and it would be a major plus for us if Kudus was back. But just because Kudus isn't back, I'm not resigned to relegation.
No. I think all the reasons to be positive about De Zerbi is still there, even with or without Kudus returning. It's like Kudus returning and De Zerbi coming in. It looked like it was going to be two great things coming at once, and that was going to probably propel us to safety. And now we're not going to get the Kudus thing, but let's hope De Zerbi can still count.
Luca THFC saying we had one proper winger by the end of January, and those dipshits decided that we should sign Conor Gallagher.
Maybe they thought he was a winger because he keep playing him out wide. He's terrible there.
God. SP1 THFC saying, okay, that Kudus injury has changed everything. Now we just pray.
That's all we got left, just prayers.
Mr. Black, injured in January and won't play for us until August. 8 months out. That's nuts.
It's just crazy the amount of times that happens. 8 months. And yeah, they're saying he could miss the World Cup, as you say, which would be a massive blow for him. I'd be gutted for him if he has to miss the World Cup off the back of what's happened here. But yeah, I mean, that's 8 months out. That'll be double the amount of time the original injury was supposed to be. 3 months. It's crazy.
This next one is one of the reasons Tottenham isn't taken seriously, even by its own players who often prefer to seek treatment elsewhere, is that the club doesn't clean house across the entire medical department in all its roles. The number of injuries and recovery processes is absurd. It's true, we have heard about a number of players seeking kind of medical advice outside of Tottenham.
Romero, Richarlison.
And it's like this multi-billion pound institution. You've got the best stadium, the best facilities, literally in the world, and you've got players seeking outsourced medical advice. It's just like nuts.
And we have heard from people in around the club who say no one trusts our medical team.
Yeah.
No one like everyone always gets a second opinion. Everyone always uses external stuff for recovery and stuff like that because no one trusts it. We know Romero, when he came back from injury, he thanked the Argentinian medical team, but he didn't thank the Spurs one, didn't he?
Yeah.
So to consider as clearly no one trusts it, which is mental. It's a mental situation where we spend billions and billions of pounds on whatever, this club, and we can't have a competent medical team. It's nonsense that can deal with everything the players need. They can't. They should have everything.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Brian Daigle, Spurs medical team don't need sacking. They need their licenses revoked and a Netflix documentary made about them.
Would you watch that Netflix documentary? All
Yeah,
or nothing medical team?
I would, with pure hate.
Be like ER, like a medical drama.
Invert the wing. What's he saying? He says, I know I say this every time, but it's just getting ridiculous. Madison, Kulusevski, Dragoshin, Odebear, Kudus, in the past year alone, have faced injuries that will keep them out for a period of 6+ months. Absolutely not a single other club in the world has had to deal with players going missing for so long. 2 of them due to medical team negligence. Maybe more.
Which 2 would you say? What, Kudus and maybe Kulusevski?
Well, I mean, Kulusevski, he got that injury and they made him run it off.
Yes, I guess that one maybe. Could you say Madison? Because he came back from an injury and his first game back, he did his ACL, didn't he?
Yeah, it's hard to put that. I think ACLs...
well, if he came back too soon, who knows? I mean, obviously it's hard, but he had a certain injury, didn't he? In his first game back, he did his ACL. So did he come back too soon? Who knows?
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's madness when you look at that. Has anyone in the league had that amount of 6-month plus injuries in the last year?
No.
Surely not.
No.
Surely we're the only club with that.
Definitely not. And the last one from ONTHFC saying Kudus set to be out for 6+ months over a hamstring injury. Solanke was out for 6 months with an ankle issue that was only supposed to be a couple of weeks. Kulusevski had a very unique and unfortunate patella injury 11 months ago, and we still have zero idea of when he's going to return. It was originally viewed as a knock. He hoped to be back for Sweden's international games last September, 7 to 8 months ago. All this was as well as the fact it's been the 3rd season in a row we've had 10+ players out at one time, the most in any Premier League club. At its peak, we've had 14 injured players at once. Despite alleged medical team revamps, nothing has changed. This is not normal. In fact, it's borderline criminal. Every single member of the medical team should be sacked. It's not coincidence. It's not a freak accident. They're very clearly terrible at their job. Either way, they make every small injury worse and agitate it tenfold, or we just get a plethora of big injuries, which they almost always misdiagnose.
Yep. I mean, I think it's that's the thing. It can't all be. But the thing is, you can blame the current medical team, but then what was it? The last medical team's fault for last season. There's this the medical team fault for this season. But there seems to be a through line of what's happening. If there's no connection, why does the same thing keep happening?
Yeah.
If there's no connection between medical teams, that's what I don't understand with the whole situation. But how can I blame? And I mean, I could blame the hierarchy, unless we're saying they're not hiring the best people to deal with the medical situation. But why wouldn't they? Why would they skimp out on medical staff? I understand, the answer to that question, to save money, but it makes no sense to not, like, they've got the best training facilities, yet they wouldn't have the best medical staff. Maybe they don't. And I've got no idea. I've got no idea how good these people are. But all we know is the players don't trust them. They seem to misdiagnose length of injuries all the time, and we seem to have massive amount of injuries all the time. So what the problem is there, it's hard to really know looking on the outside, but there is a problem clearly that needs rectifying, and how the hell do we go about rectifying that?
Yeah. It's hard to know. But right now we know we're in the fucking shit. That's all we know. And it's hard. It's hard to see like how this does get rectified. But it needs a massive look at. And it needs
but we have been looking
the
at
top of the top professionals to look at this.
They have been.
You need to bring in the best in class, and Jeff Scott was supposedly one of the best in class. But it's not just him you need to bring in. You need to be bringing him with someone that knows how the manager works and that knows how the way the manager wants to play and everything to that ilk as well. It needs to be a team together. I think when Jeff Scott had all those falling outs with Ange, we didn't have people around the club in the physio department that knew the way Ange likes to play and was used to the way Ange played. So I think that's what the breakdown was there. And then Jeff Scott left, and then it's all just gone from bad to worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's hard to know a way out of this, but all we know is that Kudus is out now, which looks like for the rest of the season, and it's going to be damaging for us. It really will be. Let's get onto a couple of super